what is something that people get wrong about you?
What do people get wrong about me?
Mm-hmm. This is
Uh,
totally a Brene question. I'm going to own that, but I just love it. And I want to know your answer.
I don't know. I feel like I think people get most things right about me. I think the thing that people don't see about me is because I'm so easygoing that I have a really hard side, like probably harder than average. Um, but it only shows up, it never shows up because there's never hardly any reason to, and it only shows up under conditions where hard things need to happen. And I think that if people who saw me, because you see my demeanor, I look very, I look like kind of teddy bearish, I think. Um, People are
Yeah.
usually shocked when they have to encounter that side. And I also think it's because most people are afraid to acknowledge the necessity of that side in their own lives,
Mm-hmm.
because we live in a very civilized society where it's easy to not have to set really hard boundaries or do conflict unless you're a police officer or something like that. And so we get to kind of just sit back and not cultivate that aspect of ourselves. Um, and for whatever reason, probably because I guess genetics and probably because of the environment I grew up in, I have that side, and it was
What brings it
useful.
out? When do you show the hard side?
Oh, so I guess when there's danger, like so, when I worked at the state hospital and you had to restrain people, where people would actually like try to hurt staff, like you have to do something. And when I worked at juvenile court, you have to show up in a hard way sometimes. And I think it's a really good thing to work with in life because I think when you're at the extremes, you learn how to be human in ways that you don't when you're not. And by that I mean is, let's say you're in a physical restraint with somebody who is harmful because they're just not in the right place, right? You have to use real force and real aggression, and at the same time, hold back that part of yourself just enough to create space for them to realize there's a boundary and to soften up with you. So you have to stop them without harming them. But you have to use almost the same amount of internal aggression to get there, but you have to be able to stop it at the cusp so that you're still talking reasonably while you're holding a person who's trying to hit you and spitting on you and claw you at the same time. That is, I think, a precious experience. Um, that I don't think everybody should do, but I think that there is a lot to learn from it.
What it also sounds like you have that hardness, but there's this aware part of you that holds it in. That takes a lot of regulation to be able to stay
Yeah,
both
but
holding the hardness, but an awareness for like when you need to bring the softness back too, and to
it
be able to
does.
do that.
Yeah, I think it's about having a relationship with that really difficult side of ourselves, our anger, our aggression. Like we've been taught that it's wrong. We haven't been taught that we need to have a healthy relationship with it and that it exists in us to help us at the right times in the right ways, but we have to. It's so powerful that we have to have a really good relationship with it to work with it.
Okay, but now you're a parent of two small children. I've got small children, a little bit older than yours, and the parenting piece really brings out the like losing my shit part. Do you have that part? Do you have a losing your shit part?
Totally. I'm a human being. Yeah, totally, totally. I think when I'm at my best, um, it's losing it in the right way when I'm at my best.
Yeah.
Because that part is telling you something, right? It's just how do you take it and not blank out and channel it into something useful.
Mm-hmm. The ongoing test of parenthood.
Ooh, yeah, there's nothing
Okay.
like it.
Going in a slightly different direction. Um, Tell me about a movie or a book that you love.
There's so many, right? How do you do
I
that?
know. I know. You have to pick one. Whatever your heart is.
Can I pick two?
Yeah. You
Okay.
get to make the rules.
Oh yeah, that's right. The first one is Contact, by Carl Sagan. Well, the movie wasn't by Carl Sagan, but the book was.
Mm-hmm.
If our civilization would stop there in terms of like just become a PBS civilization, like this place is amazing. Why are we doing all this nonsense? Like it's just, um, it is so profound that we live in this cosmic mystery. That's what we should be spending our time and energy on. And so I think Contact reminds me, when I was a kid, I used to watch Cosmos with my dad. Like I'd make my dad didn't like it. I'd make him watch it with me, and he was kind enough to sit with me. And when I watched Cosmos with Carl Sagan, every time it came on in the evenings with my dad, and it's the looking at the cosmos and astrophysics really puts life in perspective and so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
it's
then
connected to what you were talking about in the beginning, right? That awareness of the finality of life, the temporal nature of it, and just our smallness that can feel sometimes actually really freeing to connect to that.
hmm, yeah, it's liberating, And then the other movie I would say is Cloud Atlas, and it's similar reasons,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're looking at the vastness of time, and you're looking at the giant patterns of human experience, and then the individual patterns of human experience, just woven into this tapestry of a life that's so big we can't even conceive where it goes or where it came from. It's the same thing, right? I think my
Mm-hmm.
favorite emotion in life is awe. That's the one thing that'll get me to cry instantly is awe.
Okay, then I'm going to ask that next. When was the last time you felt awe?
That's a tricky emotion. Can't remember honestly. It was some movie. It was some movie I watched that made me cry. Oh no, it's not true. So every once in a while, so I do these mindfulness trainings, right? Uh, and I've tried to take mindfulness and make it more human and make it more less techniquey because it's not. It's a way of being, And so I always show the opening scene of Cosmos at the beginning of the training, so that people can see the way we zoom out from Earth and we can hear the radio waves as they get further and further. And typically, I always end up like tearing up or crying during that, just because that's it. Wow, we're so tiny, you know.
I got to go back and watch that.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, what are 2 or 3 words, phrases that best describe you as a therapist?
These are hard ones. Maybe easygoing and flexible, honestly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pretty easygoing and flexible.
That tracks.
I'm also a little goal oriented in the sense that
Mm-hmm.
uh, we should be getting some things done, and we can get some things done, like practical things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's like not just all the touchy feely, it's also the like you can take this and do something with it.
let's have a plan, man.
Yeah.